There's a grocery item sitting on a shelf right now in every single supermarket in this country that costs less than $1 and destroys mold on contact in under 5 minutes. Remediation companies charge between $500 and $6,000 to treat the exact same mold in your bathroom, your basement, your kitchen walls, and behind your washing machine. The product has been used since ancient Babylon, over 5,000 years ago, and it was never classified, never restricted, and never pulled from shelves because nobody in the cleaning industry wanted you to connect the dots between a bottle that costs 88 cents and a service invoice that costs thousands. They did not hide it because it fails. They kept quiet because the moment you understand what this bottle actually does to mold at the cellular level, you will never call a remediation company for a standard mold problem again. And a $210 billion global cleaning and remediation industry cannot survive customers who solve their own problems for less than $1. This is the story of the oldest disinfectant on Earth and the modern industry that prays you keep walking past it in aisle 7. Welcome to the channel. I am Dr. Elias Moreau, and if truth matters to you, subscribe and hit that bell right now because what I am about to show you will change how you look at every moldy surface in your home starting today. Before I tell you the name of this product, you need to understand what mold actually is and why the cleaning industry has been lying to you about how to kill it. Mold is not a stain. It is not dirt. It is a living organism, a fungus that grows in thread-like structures called hyphae that burrow deep into porous surfaces like wood, drywall, grout, and caulking. What you see on the surface, that black or green discoloration, is only the fruiting body of the colony. The actual root system, called mycelium, is growing beneath the surface where you cannot see it. And here's the part that the billion-dollar cleaning product industry has been exploiting for decades. Most commercial mold cleaners, including the ones with the biggest advertising budgets and the most recognizable brand names, contain sodium hypochlorite, which is common household bleach. Bleach is an ion-based chemical, and because of its ionic structure, it cannot penetrate porous surfaces. It sits on top, whitens the visible mold so it looks like the problem is gone and evaporates. The mold you can see disappears. The roots underneath survive completely intact. Within 1 to 3 weeks, the mold grows back, sometimes worse than before because the water content in bleach actually adds moisture to the surface, which is exactly what mold needs to thrive. You spray bleach, the mold turns invisible, you feel satisfied, and then you buy another bottle of bleach a month later when it returns. That is a business model, not a solution. The cleaning industry sells you a product designed to create the appearance of results while guaranteeing the need for repeated purchases. That cycle of spray, disappear, regrow, and repurchase generates billions in annual revenue across the cleaning product sector worldwide. Now let me tell you what actually works and why it costs almost nothing. The product is white distilled vinegar, standard 5% acidity, white vinegar that you can find in any grocery store for under $1 per bottle. According to published research, acetic acid, which is the active compound in vinegar, has been shown to be effective against the majority of common household mold species. A study referenced in multiple peer-reviewed journals demonstrated that vinegar at standard household concentration eliminated approximately 82% of tested mold species on contact. The mold does not grow back in the same location because the root system has been destroyed, not cosmetically hidden. And the application method is so simple that it almost feels like it should not work. You pour undiluted white vinegar into a standard spray bottle. You spray the moldy surface thoroughly until it is visibly wet. You leave it for a minimum of 60 minutes without wiping, scrubbing, or rinsing. The acetic acid penetrates the surface during that hour, breaking down the cellular structure of both the visible mold and the hidden mycelium beneath. After 60 minutes, you scrub the area with a brush or a rough cloth, wipe it clean with water, and let it air dry completely. For stubborn or recurring mold in high moisture areas like shower grout, bathroom caulking, or basement walls, you repeat this treatment once per week for 3 consecutive weeks. The repeated application ensures that any surviving spores are destroyed before they can reestablish a colony. Now here is where the math becomes painful for anyone who has ever written a check to a remediation company. Professional mold remediation in the United States costs between $500 and $6,000 depending on the size of the affected area. The national average sits around $200 per treatment, according to home service industry data. The remediation technician arrives at your home, sets up containment plastic sheeting, applies a commercial antimicrobial solution, scrubs the surface, runs an air filtration machine, and writes you an invoice. The antimicrobial solution they use contains active ingredients that cost between $3 and $8 per gallon in bulk. Their labor rate is billed between $75 and $150 per hour. A bathroom mold treatment that takes 90 minutes of actual work gets billed at 4 to 6 hours on the invoice. Your white vinegar costs 88 cents. A spray bottle costs $1. A scrub brush costs $2. Your total investment for the exact same mold removal on a standard bathroom surface is less than $4. That is $4 versus $2,200. And the vinegar actually reaches the roots, while many commercial surface treatments do not. I need to be completely transparent with you here because my credibility matters more than sensationalism. White vinegar is remarkably effective for common household mold on surfaces like tile, grout, glass, countertops, bathroom fixtures, washing machine seals, window frames, and caulking. For the vast majority of mold situations that homeowners encounter in daily life, vinegar is a genuine and scientifically supported solution. However, if you have a large-scale mold infestation covering more than approximately 10 square feet, or if you have mold growing inside wall cavities, inside HVAC ductwork, or in structural framing due to prolonged water damage, you absolutely need a professional assessment. I'm not telling you to ignore serious structural mold problems. Certain mold species in certain conditions require professional containment and remediation for genuine health and safety reasons. What I am telling you is that the everyday mold you see in your shower, on your windowsills, around your kitchen sink, on your basement walls, and behind your appliances does not require a $2,000 service call. It requires an 88-cent bottle of vinegar and 60 minutes of patience. All right. The remediation industry will never volunteer this information because they cannot build a business model around a customer who solves their own problem for pocket change. There is one additional step that most people never learn, and this is where the real long-term prevention happens. After you have treated and removed the mold with vinegar, you can prevent it from ever returning to that surface by addressing the moisture source. Mold requires 3 things to grow, which are moisture, an organic food source, and oxygen. You cannot eliminate oxygen, and most building materials serve as the food source. And so moisture control is your only real variable. After your vinegar treatment, make sure the area has adequate ventilation, fix any leaking pipes or seals that create persistent dampness, and in high humidity areas, consider running a dehumidifier to keep relative humidity below 50%. A basic dehumidifier costs between $30 and $50 and eliminates the environmental conditions mold needs to survive. Vinegar kills what is already there. Moisture control prevents what would come next. Together, they form a complete mold management system that costs under $55 total and replaces a recurring expense that the remediation industry designed to repeat every single year. This knowledge was never locked away. It was never classified or banned. It has been sitting on the shelf in plain view for your entire life. But a $210 billion industry had absolutely no incentive to point at the cheapest bottle in the grocery store and tell you it outperforms their most expensive service. I am Dr. Elias Moreau, and this channel exists to hand you back the knowledge that industries profit from you not having. If this changed how you think about mold in your home, subscribe right now and share this with someone who is about to spend $2,000 on a problem that costs less than $1 to solve. Every subscription tells me to keep opening these vaults. The next one drops soon, and what the industry is hiding this time is even bigger.